Welcome back to part 9. We'll be looking at delegation of rights and privileges and contracts for governance. We've established the fact that creation, who or whatever that may be, is the highest authority of earth. In understanding my authority, responsibility and accountability, the first video, the foundation. The highest law on planet Earth can only be derived from man. From the law of creation, we have established the fact that no one can prove authority over another creation. Hence there is but one moral law. No human can knowingly cause another creation harm beyond meeting their needs of survival. Hence all interactions are by contract. Any unlawful interactions between more than one human can only be by lawful contract, which means any man-made rules cannot have authority to knowingly cause another creation harm, as no human has this authority from the Creator. The requirements for a contract are detailed in the section on contracts. Hence the law of the land must be derived by contract. One obvious question this raises is, how can anything be deemed to be consensual contract of any man-made law before you were born? Hence my offer for peace to fellow humans and my Declaration of Independence on the 13th of June 2017. Next we'll just look a bit more about lawful and legal, what's the difference, and there's a very clear distinction. From Black's Law Dictionary, lawful means, it's the principal distinction between the terms lawful and legal is that the former contemplates the substance of law and the latter the form of law. To say of an act that is lawful implies that it is authorized, sanctioned, or at any rate not forbidden by law. That is to say that legal implies that it is done or performed in accordance with the forms and usages of law, or in a technical manner. In a sense, illegal approaches the meaning of invalid. It further goes on to say, a contract or will executed without the required formalities might be said to be invalid or illegal, but could not be described as unlawful. Further, the word lawful more clearly implies an ethical contract than does legal. This really seems to be the major distinction. The latter goes no further than to denote compliance with positive technical formal rules, while the former, that being lawful, usually imports a moral substance or ethical permissibility. So, what is the law of the land? Again, Black's Law Dictionary. The due process of law. By the law of the land is most clearly intended the general law, which hears before it condemns, which proceeds upon inquiry, and renders judgment only after trial. The meaning is that every citizen should hold his life, liberty, property, and immunities under the protection of the general rules which govern society. Interestingly enough, it further goes on to state, everything which may pass under the form of an enactment is not the law of the land. Hence, no act, bill, statute, or rule stands above the law of the land, which has not knowingly caused another creation harm, and hence can only have lawful standing if there is a contract where there has been a meeting of the minds. The law of the land can only be derived by contract. As all human interaction can only be derived by contract, the claimant must prove their authority over other creations. As was proven in understanding my authority, responsibility and accountability, that means each human must delegate their authority, and to be lawful, it must be by consent as described in peaceful social interaction is by consent, not deceit. One obvious question this raises is, how can anything be deemed to be consensual contract of any man-made law before you were born? A quick reminder, safety when contracting: only enter into contracts with named man or woman, a named man or woman authorized by a named legal entity, and only enter contracts that are written in your lawful language as you were taught, so that you understand it. A contract is a promise of performance. Remain in honor and stick to your promises. If you have entered an unlawful contract, take responsibility for your intent and remain in honor. We also looked at delegation of authority versus responsibility and understanding my authority, responsibility and accountability, and it was shown that I understand I can delegate my authority as I wish. I further understand I cannot delegate my responsibility, as only I can be held responsible for the actions resulting from delegating my authority. One term which is often used in regards governance is rights. So, from Black's Law Dictionary, as a noun and taken in a concrete sense, a power, privilege, faculty or demand inherent in one person and incident upon another. Rights are defined generally as powers of free action. It further goes on to talk about personal rights. Personal rights is a term of rather vague import, but generally it may be said to mean the right of personal security, comprising those of life, limb, body, health, reputation, and the right to of personal liberty. So we have inherent rights given to us from creation, who or whatever that might be. As each individual has equal authority, we can only have equal rights. Man-made entities can only have rights if those are delegated through man-made law. Governments cannot delegate rights. Humans delegate rights to governments. And privilege, the legal definition from Black's Law Dictionary, a particular or peculiar benefit or advantage enjoyed by a person, company, or class beyond the common advantages of other citizens. So here we come into a new word, citizens. The legal definition from Black's Law Dictionary of a citizen: a member of a free city or dual society, in Latin civitas, possessing all the rights and privileges which can be enjoyed by any person under its constitution and government, and subject to the corresponding duties. Sound familiar? Citizens clearly means contract. Firstly, the parties of the contract. Any person, that's you. Under its constitution and government is the second party. And that raises the question, who's the beneficial owner if we are governed by our own institutes? We can only be the beneficial owners as equal shareholders, as discussed in money. Second, the terms of the contract. You possess all the rights and privileges. And the final element of the contract, the consideration, subject to your corresponding duties. So, what's it saying long and short? So long as you do what you're told, you'll get whatever benefits and privileges the government has decided to give you. So was this signed by you? Was there full disclosure? There are three obvious questions. 1. Who owns the governments? 2. Was there full disclosure? And 3, the most disconcerting one, how did I enter this contract? These are where the endless conspiracy theories come in, and I'll be addressing these in separate topics. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it informative. Thank you for watching.